Greetings survivors, this is Hell's Janitor. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. And in today's video, we are going to be revisiting an old favourite from Alpha 18 and prior, the floating pit horde base. Redesigned, reimagined, well, tweaked if you like, for Alpha 20. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to build it and demonstrate its effectiveness. So with that in mind, let's get started. So here we are in the middle of my diggy hole that I've already taken the liberty of excavating for you. Just as a quick demonstration, let me show you how deep you need to dig this. I mean, it's a minimum requirement, but this is basically, for me, in this particular world, this was 4 blocks deep, and it is 1, 2, 3, no, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks wide, 4 blocks deep, 9 blocks wide, and then an extra width at the top for your structural supports. Now, ordinarily, I would have probably have built this out of concrete. Today, I'm actually going to build this out of cobblestone to show a cobblestone build, because I always start with concrete. We're gonna show that a cobblestone build can be equally effective for this particular horde base. I'm not going to start with any paint colours, I hope. No, we're just going to start with flat cobblestone, which is not as pretty. It's not as pretty as the one that I showed you at the start. That one is built out of concrete. But the first thing we've got to do, as always, is we have to lay ourselves our foundation, if you will, or our support. If you try to build this and connect it directly to the topsoil, whatever your top surface of choice may be it snow, be it sand, or topsoil in the forest biome, whatever it may be, chances are this is not going to work. What you will definitely need to do is make sure you put that first row of foundation blocks in, nice cube-shaped blocks. Diddly-do, fiddly-dee, diddly-done. Right, now for the magic. Right, we're going to need to change our shape. We are going to need to go to wedge section and wedge tip 60, the good old favourite, the zombie-proof wall block from Alpha 18 and previous. You remember the good old days back then when you could build a zombie-proof base with just wedge tips? All you had to do was add wedge tips to a wall and a way for you guys to get in, and the zombies couldn't touch you. Yeah, I kind of miss those. I kind of miss those a little bit. Anyway, I digress. It's going to be kind of hard to see this, so I may actually have to paint it after we're done. But orientation of the block is really, really, really important. If you don't orient your blocks the right way, this design will not work. You have to orient your blocks this way, okay? The outer wall has to be like sloping, you know, from the narrowest point down to the widest point for the outer edge. If you don't do that, it's not going to work. Your next shape that you're going to want after that is going to be your wedge inside corners. We get those down like so. Have I gone the wrong way? Yes, I have, because I always do. And we're going to pretty this up a little bit as well. This is what I like. I mean, you can use the new block shapes. You can use the really narrow wedges. I found that it's very hard to actually find a nice tidy corner. So, and as the wedge 60s work, we're going to use the wedge 60s. Right, next shape. We are going to copy our shape and our rotation. And now the orientation of this block, again, super important. You're going to want to make sure that this follows the same plane and is attached to the wall block. Okay? If you do this, this will work. Okay, so orientation of the blocks is super important. As you can see there, you have to make sure that they follow the same plane. So narrow to wide on there, wide to narrow there, facing the same way. If you copy that, it'll be absolutely fine. It will 100%, it will work, I promise you. It will definitely work. All right, your last shape that you're going to need is going to be your wedge 60 corner top. You will need an advanced rotation for this puppy here. We're going to go in there like so. Okay, and then you can probably guess what's going to be happening with the last one. That's right, you guessed it. Cube shapes down the middle. Now, as you can see, I'm not getting any structural intake. You know, I'm not getting any yellow or pink bounds on the outside of my blocks here. As far as the game is concerned, this is 100% structurally sound and viable. Okay, there we have the essence of the base. Now, the good thing about this particular design is that it doesn't actually require any supporting blocks underneath it, which means there are no blocks underneath it for the zombies to attack. You know, only the blocks on the side, and they may start to dig. You may find the occasional diggy boy on the outside here, but for the most part, they generally don't. This is why I think this particular floating-based design is better than the other floating-based designs that I myself and other content creators have posted videos of on YouTube. I really like this one. I'm a huge fan of this one. Anyway, quick note about the difference between shutters and hatches when it comes to the center throwing area for your Molotovs or your grenades or your pipe bomb. When a hatch is open, it's open. When it's closed, it's closed. Now, this is going to sounds like a really silly thing for me to say, but there you go. You can see that there. Well, I'm going to demonstrate this now again with a shutter. We're just going to take an ordinary wood shutter. All the wood shutters have the same animation. Okay, they all have the same animation. This is an important point to note, okay? Shutters look a lot cleaner. Okay? They look a lot cleaner, they look a lot nicer, but there is a problem. If you open the shutter, you'll notice when I close the shutter, there is a small bounce in the animation. When the shutter closes. Okay, now I can walk over that when that's closed and it's fine. However, if I close that without letting the animation finish, oopsie, small problem. So just a word of warning, you use whichever one you want to use, but just to keep that in mind that if you walk over the shutter before the animation is finished, it will still be considered as open, and you will fall through the shutter, and you will find yourself in a world of pain, especially if you're in the middle of a blood moon and it's full of zombies down there. So yeah, just a heads up. Just wanted to let you guys know. You know, just be careful. Personally, again, I like shutters. That's just the way it works. All right, I've added in some extra blocks here that I didn't need to add, and I should have possibly mentioned that before we started. All right, this is the important thing, right? This bit I'm going to show you now. This is the important thing. This is what makes this base work. Okay, is for giving the zombies a way out. Now, before, back in Alpha 18 and previous, when you did this floating base design, you didn't need to give the zombies a way out. All you had to do was put the wedge tips, follow the wedge tips all the way down on both sides, give yourself a nice zombie-proof wall that the zombies would fall into, couldn't get out of. Everyone's a winner. Happy days, lovely jubbly. Yeah, no, you don't want to do that anymore. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to give them a way out. And the most effective way I found to do this, believe it or not, is actually it's just a ladder. Just give them a ladder. I've tried it with steps. I've tried it with ramps. I've tried using terrain blocks to make sure that it works. Honestly, use a ladder. It's by far the easiest way for this to work. It really does work. It is super effective. Okay, right. Next build. Next part of the build. We're just going to pretty this up a little bit. So bear with me a second while I just put down some of the ugliest bars I can possibly find in the entire game, just to show that you can actually build this entire thing out of cobblestone, and it will actually stay upright. Okay, now you don't have to use bars. You can use half blocks, you can use plates, you can use full blocks, you can use glass blocks if you want. Doesn't really matter. Just whatever block you want to use, just to give yourself a sense of security, aesthetics, whatever you like, really. Again, like I said, it's really unimportant. But I use bars for demonstration purposes. Which side am I going to leave the door? I'm going to leave the door that side. I want to make sure that I leave the door opposite a ladder. I don't know why this is important. I do know, though, that I've tested this in the past without leaving a door opposite the ladder, and it seems to reduce the base's effectiveness. So you can have more than one door as well. The zombies would generally gravitate towards the side where the door is. I tend to use just the one door. But there we go. Ugly cobblestone bars. Not very nice at all. Not very pretty. But there it is. The demonstration to say that this thing can actually be built complete out of cobblestone blocks. Which is... Honestly, they are so readily available in the game. If you haven't got cobblestone blocks by day 7, then yeah, I think you've done something wrong. I think you've done something wrong. Cobblestone blocks, just go out and, as I always say, just go out. Whenever you're doing your questing, whenever you're doing you're clearing your POIs, whatever it is that you're doing, whenever you're doing it, just shovel away at your blue bags and grab all the cobblestone you can find. Okay, so hatches for throwables again. This time I'm not going to put a roof on this. I'm going to leave this one completely open. But there we have it. Let me God mode through here just so you can see it. And this is what we've got. We've got 3 blocks deep, which means zombies can fall in. There's nothing for them to reach. The only way for them to get to me is to path back up and use the loop. Okay, and this is what makes this base really, really effective. It's the loop. They will see this. They may walk along here like this for a little bit, but eventually they will fall down. Then they look for a way to get to me again. They still see this as a path. As I've explained in previous videos, I'll explain it one more time as well. What we see is a gap. What the zombies see is not a gap. What the zombies see this. They see that as a viable path. They see that as a way for them to get to me, to where I am. So they will just come walking along, and they will just walk along it, and then they'll get there, and they'll look at me, and they'll shuffle along, and they'll amble along, and they'll be, what happened? Okay, right, let's do that again, and we'll go back out, and they'll start all over again. And so it goes on, ad infinitum, until you're ready, until you've killed them all. The only issue with this base is it's not a true AFK base. I'm still not convinced that a true AFK base is actually possible in this game, mainly because of the biggest issue of the lot, which are vomiting policemen. Vomiting policemen, as anybody who's watched my previous videos will know, they are my nemesis. I really, 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 really don't like puking policemen. The other flaw with this base, what makes it a non-AFK base is, I mean, because you could do this in such a way, if you didn't use bars, the zombies will only puke when they've got line of sight. If they haven't got line of sight, they won't puke. So if you didn't use bars and you use plates or half blocks or whatever it is that blocks the cops' line of sight to you, you wouldn't get any trouble with vomiting policemen at all. The problem you have got with this one is jumping zombies, specifically spider zombies. Spider zombies is your biggest issue with this one, because they will jump across the gap occasionally. You may need to add like a hatch down there, possibly with a junk turret in it. The most effective way though is when if they jump across and they land on the sides there, just shoot the buggers, shoot them, club them, do whatever it is that you need to do. All right, quick demo, and then we'll fast forward to Horde Night and we'll see what happens. We'll see if our cobblestone base actually holds up. Okay, so quick demo. Zombie janitor. We'll chuck a few regulars in. We'll chuck a few ferals in as well. Come on, boyos. Do your stuff. And there we go. Down they go. Into the pit. Couple of random swings at the side walls there. Down into the pit they go again. And as you move around, they should follow you around. But as you can see, you might get the odd random zombie that will jump, but for the most part, that's it. That is what we got. And you get a nice room full of zombies down here. Or you get them gathered up on your ladders, wherever your ladders may be there. Somebody please teach me how to throw a freaking Molotov. And how to not fall down the hole. But yeah. Molotov out the door. At the top of the ladder. Give me a second while I put my fire out. Molotov burns for so long, man. That's how you get yourself killed if you're not careful. But yeah, there's Molotov at the top of the ladder. Oh my good lord, I've done it again. I'm forever doing this. But that's all you need. Oh, have I got the nice visual bug where I'm constantly on fire? Yeah, even in God mode, I can't get out of it. Right, give me a second, guys. I'm going to have to relog. Okay, apologies about that. That's a new bug, a new visual bug that I've discovered. I've had it happen a couple of times. I mean, I would have it happen a couple of times because apparently I can't throw Molotovs. I can't even say Molotovs. I call them Molotovs. Apparently I can't say it or throw them properly without setting myself on fire. And the only solution I've found for that is to stop, quit, and then come back in and start again so you can reset the visual bug. But there we have it. There's our base. Really simple, really easy to build, can easily be built from day one materials, you know, or early game materials. Obviously, as you go through the game, you will want to upgrade this, upgrade it to upgrade it, you know, from wood to cobblestone. I'm pretty sure you can. Concrete is about as high as you'll need to go, but if you really want to upgrade it to steel, by all means, upgrade it to steel. But there it is. Not the prettiest when it's made out of cobblestone, but effective. Really, really effective. So what we're going to do now, we're going to shut all our doors. We're going to put a roof on. I know I said I wasn't going to put a roof on. Today, I'm going to put a roof on. I'm going to put a roof on. Because I don't want zombies attacking me. And advanced rotation will do to there. Boom, 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 boom. Ba-da-bum. Now, obviously, with this base design as well, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, you can dig this down as deep as you want it to go. Okay, a minimum of 4 blocks deep is the recommendation. That's what I recommend. A minimum of 4 blocks deep, so there's nothing down there that can touch you. If you want to, as I did in my own personal playtest, I actually dug this all the way down to bedrock, which does actually make it even more effective because obviously if you go all the way down to bedrock is indestructible. There's nothing that can harm down at bedrock. So even if a cop takes damage at some point on the way down for whatever reason, gets down to bedrock and explodes. I mean, you know, demolishers exploding down there. I mean, you'd be that far away from this part of your base. You haven't got to worry about any damage being taken from this whatsoever. So the deeper you go, the more effective it is. Just remember to extend your ladders all the way down to whatever you use as a floor, whatever level you use as a floor. But for now, 4 blocks deep and 9 blocks wide will give you a nice fighting area here to take care of that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to fast forward us. We're going to go up to 21.93, I believe is the number. I believe that's the magic number. 21.93. And go. And we're going to see what happens with the blood moon. Now, game stage at the moment is 66. So there's a chance we're going to get some uglies in this. There's a chance we're going to get some coppers. We may get some spiders, possibly some vultures. So you're going to have to take care of those with your ranged weapons. But as you can see, zombies coming in from various directions over here. Round they go. Down the ladder they go. Up they go. Down they go. Up the ladder they come. Over they go, and so on and so forth. Now all you can do, all you got to do here is you can sit and you can wait this out. You don't have to do anything, all right? All you have to do, you can save your ammunition if you want to for these suckers. Now some of these, see there, the spider zombie, he will fall down there, or he'll jump across to try to get to you. Okay, if he does that, just make sure that you shoot him. But for now, as you can see, we're fine here. Absolutely nothing whatsoever to worry about. We haven't fired a bullet. We haven't chucked a throwable. We've done absolutely nothing. And there's our first issue right there. See what I mean about the spider zombies? They seem to be able to get across. So those guys, you want to take care of those guys. Okay? We take care of those guys. Make sure that anything that's beating on your structures over there is taken care of. How did that get damaged? I have no idea how that got damaged. Is that the Molotov that did that? Must have been a Molotov that did that. There we go. There's another issue there. We'll grab a club just to show that we can do this with early weapons. Knock her out. So just keep an eye on your surroundings. Make sure that you're all good. Alright, and what we're going to do... There we go. Another one got across. Again, this is why this is not a true AFK base. But just for funsies. Just for funsies, we're going to set ourselves on fire. Again. Maybe a door rather than a hatch there would be more effective. Maybe we could just open the door, like so. Grab your molly. Chuck it out the door and then close it. And that way you haven't got to run the risk of setting yourself on fire at all. And here comes the second wave. And in they come. We should keep our hatches closed until we're ready to actually do the beating up of the zombies if they actually turn up here. And they will, when they jump across, if they jump across, they should target hatches. Hatches and doors is what they're going to go for. So you might want to, you're probably going to want to keep your head on a swivel. But that's a fairly effective demonstration, I think. I don't think we need to worry about any more than that. I think we'll just fast forward now. We'll fast forward. We'll get to the end, and I'll talk to you guys when this is all over. And there we have it. 2:25 in the morning on day 14 for a horde night of maximum zombies at game stage 67, and we're done. And we're done. That was with a handful of Molotovs, a handful of pipe bombs, handful of grenades. And now we're just going to inspect the damage. This is mainly from the throwables. This is not from the zombies hitting. But you can see there, not a huge amount of damage. It's probably because of my horrible potato aim. These are some random swings from zombies as they come up the ladders. And the odd zombie that digs here and there. I don't know why they do that. It's really weird. But for the most part, very, 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 very minimal damage. And like I say, the deeper you go, the more effective the base becomes. And there we have it. The floating horde base, reimagined, redesigned, and working for Alpha 20. If you stuck with me to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Drop us a comment down below. I'd really, really, really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've come up with anything similar. If you've come up with any ideas, different, better. I'd love to hear them. But for now, that is where we are going to call this episode. So once again, thank you for sticking with me to the end. And until next time, remember, be good. If you can't be good at it. I've been Hell's Janitor. This has been 7 Days to Die. And I will hopefully catch you guys in the next video.